Hello friends, I am back to continue our session on genetics. Now in the last session we learned the different basic concepts of genetics, that is terms like allele, then dominant and recessive allele, then phenotype and genotype, then homozygous, heterozygous, then we learned what is variation, then the basic definition of genetics, homologous chromosomes. Yes, now I hope you have gone through this all those terms, because we are going to use those terms while discussing today the experiments which Mendel has carried out. Okay, now today we are going to discuss Mendel's experiments on inheritance. Now Mendel carried out various experiments on the garden pea plant, that is the botanical name or the scientific name as per the binomial nomenclature which was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, it is called as Pisum sativum. Okay, that is the botanical name of garden pea plant, Pisum sativum. You have to remember this many times for name the following etc. it is asked. Now why did he select garden pea plant? Because a number of varieties were available with alternative traits. For example, the color of the flower, that is purple flowers or white flowers, or say the seed color, yellow is dominant over green, or the pod shape, pod in which that the peas are present. Okay, so the shape of the pod, that is inflated versus constricted, or the position of the flowers. Okay, that is the flowers were present in the axil, that is axillary flowers, and the ones which are present at the terminal, that is the terminal flowers. Okay, so like that different characteristics were available, and they are alternative traits. So that is one reason why I selected garden pea plant. Then secondly, pure breeding varieties were available. Pure breeding means generation after generation you get the same type. That is, say if the plant is showing purple flowers, then you can produce the purple flowers generation after generation by using self pollination. Okay, now concept of pollination you have learnt in 9th standard. Okay, so just go through that. And then also, since self pollination is possible and self pollination is required to get pure lines generation after generation, and if you don't want self pollination, you can block or cover the reproductive parts, the respective reproductive parts, that is androecium or gynoecium, and even bring about cross pollination artificially. Okay, so these are the main three reasons why he selected garden pea plant. Okay, now when he carried out the experiments, first he took one particular character. So first we are going to learn what is called as a mono hybrid cross. Now mono means one and hybrid is related to heterozygous. I hope you remember what is heterozygous condition. Condition in which a pair of chromosomes carries dissimilar alleles for a particular character. Okay, so we are going to discuss what is called as a mono hybrid cross. Okay, now first we will just have a look here what I was telling you about the different varieties which were available. Now these are the different characteristics of the garden pea plant. Okay, this table is very important. You have to learn this table properly because different questions can be asked based on this. So first character is the color of the flower color. So purple is dominant over white. Now he has arrived at these conclusions by carrying out the experiments. Then the seed color, yellow is dominant over green. Then the seed shape, round is dominant over wrinkled. The color of the pod, that is pod color, green dominant over yellow. Pod shape, inflated is dominant over constricted. Flower position, axillary versus terminal, and plant height, that is tall versus dwarf. Okay, so these are the 7 characteristics of the garden pea plant, which is called as the Pisum sativum, and these are all the dominant traits and these are the recessive traits. So choose the odd one out also can be asked based on this. Okay, now we will see what is called as a mono hybrid cross. Okay, now here just try to understand here, this is a mono hybrid cross. Now you are starting the mono hybrid cross by carrying out breeding between homozygous dominant. I hope you remember what is homozygous dominant. So this is same genes, so it is called as homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive. Okay, so what you say, cross pollination is carried out between a tall pea plant and a dwarf pea plant. Now after carrying out cross pollination, the seeds so obtained are sown. Yes, you sow the seeds and then these are the gametes. Okay, that is the seeds, and from the seeds what you get is the F1 generation means the next generation. This is the parental generation, and F1, F stands for filial, which in Latin means daughter. Okay, so this is the F1 generation. So in F1 generation you are getting what? All heterozygous. Now just see, these gametes from one parent we write here, capital T, and small t we are writing here. Okay, now this what I have shown here, this representation is called as the Punnett square method, Punnette. Okay, this is called as the Punnett square method. So now you just have to match this with this. So always the dominant is written first. So capital T, small t, this and this, capital T, small t, this with this, capital T, small t, this with this, capital T, small t. Okay, so if you observe in the F1 generation, you are getting all 4 plants are what? They are tall. Phenotype of this is what? Tall. All 4 are tall, right? You remember what is phenotype? The observable or the express character, correct? Yes, and what is the genotype? All 4 are what? Yes, very good. Heterozygous, tall. So the phenotype of F1 generation, here all plants are tall, and genotype of F1 generation, all are heterozygous, tall, and you have to write in bracket the genes, that is capital T, small t. Okay, is it clear? So this is your F1 generation, which is obtained by the cross pollination between a homozygous tall pea plant and a homozygous dwarf pea plant. Okay, now in F2 generation, F2 means now the next generation. Now self pollination is carried out between the progeny of F1. Progeny, you understand, like you are the progeny of your parents. Okay, the next generation. So now here we are getting all heterozygous plants. So now you carry out self pollination between the heterozygous plants. Okay, so here I have written selfing, that is means self pollination. Okay, not self here. Selfing between progeny of F1 generation. So this is your the F1 generation progeny. So heterozygous tall and heterozygous tall. That is, you are carrying out now self pollination between these. So now the gametes from this will be what? Capital T, small t, and from this one capital T, small t. Okay, now again this is your now F2 generation, next generation. Okay, so this capital T with this T, so 2 capital T's. Now this and this, so 1 capital, 1 small, always dominant you write first, then this with this. Okay, this with this, so capital T, small t here, and this, so 2 small t's. So here what you are observing, this plant is tall, this plant is also tall, this is tall, and this is 2 small t's, this is dwarf, right? So one recessive can express only in presence of another recessive. We had discussed this in the last session. Okay, and what is the genotype of this? This is homozygous tall, this is what? Heterozygous, this is heterozygous, and this is homozygous. Okay, so you have to report what is called as the phenotype of F2 generation. Is the phenotype ratio is asked generally for this. So phenotype ratio of F2 is what? Tall is to dwarf. These are the 2 possibilities, yes, for the character height. So 3 plants are tall and 1 is dwarf. Here 1, 2, 3 are tall and 1 is dwarf. And genotype ratio of F2, this is one possibility, that is 2 capital T's. This is one possibility and this is one possibility. Total 3 possibilities with respect to the genes for any character. We had seen last time tongue rolling, if you remember. Okay, so capital T is 1, capital T, small t, heterozygous are 2, this and this, and small t is 1. Okay, so this is what is called as a monohybrid cross. Okay, so now how the question will be given to you? Now in the question they will not tell you what is the genotype of the parents. They will ask you in this manner, that is, carry out a cross between a homozygous tall pea plant and a dwarf pea plant. Okay, and they will give you in bracket capital T. So you understand that tall is dominant over dwarf. Yes, then report the genotype and phenotype of F1 generation. So you have to show this Punnett square and report the genotype and phenotype ratio of F2 generation. Okay, is it clear? So this what we have discussed is a monohybrid cross. Now if you have to define what is a monohybrid cross, yes, the cross which is obtained between 2 pure breeding varieties by taking one character. See, here we have taken one character, that is height. okay, by taking one character and its alternative traits. By taking one character and its alternative traits is called as a monohybrid cross, okay. And what is monohybrid ratio? The ratio which you get in F2 generation is called the monohybrid ratio. So the ratio obtained by the crossing between two pure breeding varieties by taking the contrasting traits of one particular character, okay, in the F2 generation. In the F2 generation is called as a monohybrid ratio. So the phenotype monohybrid ratio is what? 3:1, and genotype will be 1:2:1, okay. So this is always the same, okay. Now here we have taken plant height as the character. Now out of these 7 characteristics which are listed here, color, flower color, seed shape, you can be asked any of this to carry out a monohybrid cross, okay. Is it clear? What is dominant and what is recessive, generally they will give you in the exam, yes, but the actual genotype, that is what to write, capital T or small t, that they will not tell you, okay. Is it clear? So this is the monohybrid cross. Now we will have a look at the next part. Okay, now continuing with our questions, next is explain the reasons why Mendel selected garden pea plant for his experiments. Now just now I explained, so this is important. At least 2 reasons you should know for this. First, large variety. Pea plants have several distinct varieties, each with sharp alternative forms of a character. Those 7 characters which we just saw. Then pure forms. Varieties were available in the pure forms that bred true, that is produce the same type generation after generation. Third point, self-pollinated. Pea plants are monoecious with bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers means the male and female parts are in the same flower, okay. A condition that favors self-pollination. Also the flower completely encloses the reproductive organs until fertilization, which further ensures self-pollination. Now self-pollination makes it easy to obtain pure lines for several generations. If required, self-pollination can be prevented by removing the corresponding reproductive parts of the flower, and cross-pollination can be done artificially, okay. So these are the 3 reasons. Now you have to always remember that when Mendel carried out the experiments, to get F1 generation he carried out cross-pollination, and to get F2 generation he did self-pollination, okay, that you should remember. Now next question is define monohybrid cross. Just now what we saw, a cross between pure breeding varieties by taking one characteristic or feature and its alternative traits is known as monohybrid cross, okay. Now in case you have missed any part, we will just pause it for you so that you can take down. Okay, now continuing with monohybrid cross. Now one more example we will see here for monohybrid cross. This is how the question is going to be asked, okay. Just understand the question. A pure breeding pea plant bearing auxiliary flowers into bracket capital A was cross pollinated with a pure breeding pea plant bearing terminal flowers small a. Now this indicates that this is dominant and this is recessive, okay. Report the genotype and phenotype of F1 generation and give the genotype and phenotype ratio of F2 generation. Use the Punnett square for showing your working, okay. This generally will be for 4 marks or so. Now you start with parental generation, capital A versus small a. This is auxiliary flowers, this is terminal flowers, okay. Now gametes from this will be AA, and from this small a. Now one set of gametes you write here, capital A, and other set here small a. Okay. Now you match this. So A, capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A, small a. All are auxiliary flowers. So phenotype of F1 you will write all plants have axillary flowers, and genotype of F1 all plants are heterozygous axial. So you're in bracket, you have to show what is heterozygous. So capital A, small a. Okay, clear? Now next step is self pollination between the progeny of F1. So your now the parental generation will become heterozygous. So capital A, small a, capital A, small a. Gametes from this will be capital A, small a. From here again capital A, small a. From this parent and from this parent. Okay. So one set of gametes you write this side, one side set like this here. Okay. So capital A, this will become capital A, small a. This and this capital A and small a. This with this. Okay. Then this with this, small a, small a. Followed 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay. So now this is axillary flower, this is also axillary flower, this is also axillary flower, and this will be terminal flower. Okay. So phenotype ratio will be axillary to terminal. So that is the alternative traits for the character position of the flower, right? So it will be 3:1, and genotype ratio homozygous axial 1, heterozygous axial 2, and homozygous recessive 1. Okay, or you can say terminal flowers 1, because it's understood, because it is terminal it is recessive, because one recessive can express in presence of another recessive only. So for this, even if you don't mention homozygous, it's fine, it's understood. Okay, is it clear? So this is how you are supposed to answer the question. Clear? Now just in case you have missed anything, we'll just pause it for you so you can note down properly. Okay, now next we are going to discuss dihybrid cross. Okay, now first we discuss monohybrid cross. In that we took one character and its alternative traits. So we had 4 boxes. Okay, now we are going to do dihybrid cross. Now di means 2. So we are going to carry out a cross between pure breeding varieties by taking 2 characteristics. Yes, 2 characteristic or features and their alternative traits. That is known as a dihybrid cross. So 2 different characteristics we are going to study, yes, and its alternative traits. So total you will have 16 boxes now. Okay, and you have to fill those 16 boxes. Now just try to understand. It's a bit complicated but easy to if you pay attention. So now what are the 2 characteristics which we are taking here? Seed color and seed shape. Okay. Now seed color, the alternative traits are yellow. Now yellow, that's why I have written in yellow, and green. So yellow seed is dominant over green seed. So yellow is dominant, so capital Y, and green will be small y, small y. Whatever letter you use for dominant, same letter, small letter you will use for the recessive. Okay, you can't use G here and Y here. Remember that. Seed shape, round is dominant over wrinkled. So RR and wrinkled will be small r, small r. Okay, is this clear? So these are the 2 characters and these are the alternative traits. Now always you will start with homozygous dominant versus homozygous recessive, as we did in monohybrid cross. If you remember, parental generation we started with homozygous tall and homozygous dwarf. So same way here, now we are starting with homozygous dominant, that is round, and homozygous dominant yellow, and homozygous recessive green wrinkled, correct? So for the round, the 2 alleles RR, and this will be capital Y, this is parental 1 and this is the other parent, RR small y, small y, small r, small r, small y, small y. Okay, now gametes from this parent. Now how you write the gametes? You will match this first this R with this Y, then this with the other one, then R with this and R with this, like this. See, here it will be this you take with this, again this, how you have solve in algebra, like that. this with this, and again this with this. Okay, so that is why ry all capital. Yes, so 4 gametes. Similarly, from this plant again you will have 4 gametes. Yes, so ry, small r small y, small r small y, small r small y, small r small y. Okay, clear? Now one set of gametes you are going to write this side and the other set of gametes here. Now this what I have shown is the symbol. This is a symbol for male and this is a symbol for female. Now here in this dihybrid and monohybrid ratio, it doesn't make any difference if you write or you don't write the symbols. But when we are discussing sex linked inheritance, that time you have to write the symbols. Okay, so one set of gametes, these we have written here, and the other set here. Now the R's should be together and Y should be together. Okay, when you are writing this, the outcome between this and this. Okay, the R should be written together and Y should be written together, and if there is a dominant allele, that has to come first. So now here which is, this is capital, so capital R will come first, followed by this small r, capital Y followed by small y. Okay, same way you write for this, capital R, capital Y, small y. Now if you observe in these 16 boxes, all are the same. Just notice, observe, all are having heterozygous round. I hope you are understanding now what is heterozygous round and heterozygous yellow, correct? So all 16 plants are having round and yellow seeds. That is the phenotype. Yes, very good. Okay, so phenotype of F1 will be all 16 plants have round and yellow seeds. And what is the genotype of F1? All 16 plants are heterozygous. Then in bracket you have to mention this, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay. Now this particular working which I have shown you here for F1 generation is for your understanding. Okay. In exam when they give you a dihybrid cross, you can directly, after writing the parental generation and the gametes, you can directly write that all the 16 plants will be heterozygous for that dominant character. Why? Because it has been proved by Mendel that whenever you start with homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive in F1 generation, always you will get all dominant. Okay, so all are dominant. So all 16 therefore are dominant, round and yellow, and heterozygous dominant. Okay, that is a it has been proved. So you need not show this working in the exam. But now for your understanding how it has come to all 16 with the same genotype and same phenotype, that's why I have shown this here. Okay, is it clear? Now the next part. Now this was our F1 generation. Now we have to move to F2 generation. So you will carry out now self-pollination between the progeny of F1. So progeny of F1 is this. So heterozygous, so now cross between heterozygous round yellow and heterozygous round yellow. So now same manner you show the, write the gametes. So this R with this Y, this R with this Y, this R with this Y, and this R small y. Okay. So one set of gametes from this parent and other set of gametes from this parent. Now we will see the cross, but before that, if you have missed this, please note down this, we will pause it for you. Okay, so we saw how to write the gametes to obtain the F2 generation. So those one set of gametes we are writing here, the other set we are writing on this side. So this is what is called as the Punnett square. Now again same principle, R's together and Y's together. So this will go with this. So capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Okay. Then this and this, again capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Okay. Then this capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay. Now here all won't be the same. Now this and this, capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. Now here capital R, and small y, small y. Okay. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Always the dominant is written first. Then next capital R, and small y, this and this. Okay, here. Now this with this. So capital R, capital Y, right? Capital R, capital Y, small y. Small r, and capital Y, this one. Okay. Small r, capital Y, small y, this block. Okay. Now last block, capital R, capital Y, small y. Okay. Capital R, small y, this block. Then capital R, small r, and capital Y, small y. Okay. So as you do it, it becomes easier. Small r, small y. Okay. Now below each outcome, you have to write the phenotype. That is very important. Okay. So this will be what? Round and yellow. This will be what? Round and yellow. This is, yes, very good, round yellow. This round yellow. Now this will be round and green. Small y is green. Okay. This will be again round yellow, round green, round yellow. Now this small r is wrinkled, right? Recessive. So wrinkled yellow, again wrinkled yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, and both are recessive, wrinkled green. Okay. So this is your progeny of F2 generation. Now generally you will be asked to report the phenotype of F2 and give the phenotype of the dihybrid ratio. Now count the round yellows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So phenotype, you will write round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, and wrinkled green. These are the 4 different types which are observable externally, correct? And the ratio will be, there are 9 blocks having round yellow. Round green is how many? 1, 2 and 3. 3 round greens. Wrinkled yellow how many? 1, 2 and 3. And wrinkled green only 1. So this becomes your dihybrid ratio. Okay, is it clear? So this is very important. This generally one dihybrid ratio is asked every year for almost 6 marks. Okay, so you understand this properly. Now since we have completed both monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Now if you have to compare monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Okay, monohybrid we are taking one character and its alternative traits. In dihybrid cross we are taking 2 characteristics and its alternative traits. So the ratio which we get when we are carrying out a monohybrid cross, yes, in the F2 generation, that is called as the monohybrid ratio. Okay, so that ratio, just pay attention here, this is important, give 5 stars. Monohybrid ratio, the kind of ratio obtained in the progeny is the next generation, in F2 generation by crossing for the alternating traits of one single character is known as monohybrid ratio, correct? Now that monohybrid ratio, the phenotype ratio is 3:1, monohybrid, we saw that. Okay, 3 tall you got and 1 dwarf. So phenotype, that is the expressed or observable character, 3:1. Genotype ratio is 1:2:1. Okay, so this is, you have to remember this is generally asked. Dihybrid ratio, kind of ratio obtained in the progeny in F2 generation by crossing for the contrasting traits of 2 different characters is known as dihybrid ratio. So here phenotype ratio will be 9:3:3:1, what we just saw. Okay. Now genotype ratio, you are not expected to know, it's very complex. If you observe the genes, now like this, see, this is homozygous, like that how many are there homozygous? Only 1, correct? Then this is homozygous, heterozygous, so how many are there? This is 1, this is 2, so like that the genotype ratio is too complex, so it's generally not asked. Okay, is it clear? So just in case you have missed any part, we'll pause it for you so that you can take down, and then we'll move to the next part. Okay, so today we have seen the experiments which Mendel carried out on the garden pea plant. We understood the monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Okay, now based on these experiments, how he has derived the laws of inheritance, that I will explain in the next session. Okay, so in the next session we are going to discuss the laws of inheritance and concept of mutation and sex linked inheritance. Okay, so till then go through whatever we have done and understand, especially dihybrid is a bit difficult to understand. So go through it. If you have any doubts, we can discuss it in the Zoom session. So happy studying and stay safe and healthy in the house. Thank you.